Hi, this is Jim McDevitt, and I am here with a wonderful woman by the name of Bunny Moon, who is my dear grandmother. And this is an episode of Show Up for People You'll Never Meet. And I wanted to focus on my grandmother because she's one of the people that has modeled that mantra to me for my entire life, even before we had the words for it. So say hi to the audience, Grammy. I call her Grammy, and she is 102 years old, and she is still as vibrant and delightful to spend time with as she's been my entire life. So,
Well, thank you.
yes. So to talk about some things that you have done in your life, you started playing piano at the age of 13, correct?
Right.
And you stopped playing.
I never stopped completely, but there were about 45 years when I was raising a family and working and so on. I started taking lessons again at age 68.
That's something that I love about my grandmother is that she took lessons for how many years after you retired? You were just an active
25 maybe.
You were an active piano student, but you had a teacher who you worked with for that entire time.
Right.
And he was a wonderful collaborator for you.
Yes.
By the name of Arthur Goldstein. And so how many years did you do a public recital?
Probably 22 or 3. I gave my last recital at age 95.
So my grandmother here, we're at a place in State College, Pennsylvania called Foxdale Village, which is a retirement community. And they have a really nice, really nice building called the Community Building. And there's a decent sized auditorium in there with a large Steinway grand piano.
9-foot grand piano.
Which you got to play every day for decades.
Right.
Which was, I know, a huge source of joy for you, being able to play on that particular Steinway grand piano. For those that don't know, that's a higher end piano, correct?
I would say so.
Yeah. So that somebody generously donated it to the community here, and my grandmother was definitely one of the great beneficiaries of that.
Indeed.
Over the years, and she got to perform 20-some recitals to the community here at Foxdale Village, and I always enjoyed coming to those recitals of yours and bragging about you online that my 95-year-old grandmother was better than anybody else's grandmother.
Oh, come on.
I'm just kidding, but it was always inspiring to me that you, even decades after you retired, you're still doing things. And so you played piano for, I guess that would be about 87 years then. I was thinking it was like 85, so it's actually longer than that. About 87 years she played piano. I can't imagine doing anything in my life for 87 years that I took up as a child. I think that's absolutely amazing that you found yourself dedicated to that for so long, and I know it brought you so much joy. And then unfortunately you had to give it up.
Yeah.
Because of it was,
I have arthritis in my fingers and they just don't work too well.
yeah, and that's unfortunate, but that didn't stop you from still accessing your creative energies. And you've in the last few years done a lot of really good poetry. And she's even had a couple pieces published, which is kind of neat. And would you like to share a poem or two that you've written in recent years?
Should I do the one I gave to you last night?
If you would like, absolutely. It was a good one.
Okay. Nathaniel is an inquisitive boy for whom a conundrum provides much joy. He once saw Grandpa take his teeth out one night. Now he just witnessed a very strange sight. He watched as Grandpa plucked out his glass eye. "Way to go, Grandpa," was Nat's instant cry. His fertile brain framed a question to pose. "Grandpa," he asked, "can you take off your nose?"
So that's a nice example I think, a really clever and fun little poem. And do you have any others you'd like to share? I know, remembering all of them off the top of your head, which has always impressed me, that you seem to recall some of these.
Okay, here's one I wrote a few years ago. Oh, where have you been all my life? He smooth talked, then winked his right eye. How soon can I become your wife? Was her astonishing reply. But we haven't formally met, he stammered, his face turning red. A detail you'll have to forget, she replied. I want to be wed. Well, I don't, was his anguished cry. Shout, find yourself another guy. Don't forsake me, you shameless lout, she bellowed. You did wink your eye. He pounded his fist on the bar and frantically rushed out the door. And in the safety of his car, he vowed, I won't flirt anymore. Triumphantly raising her glass, she chuckled, then murmured this chant. Here's to me, a resourceful lass. He looked as if he'd seen a ghost.
That's really, really beautiful. Thank you, Grammy. So I know you have I've said that you have modeled the mantra to me before we had these words for it, the show up for people you never meet. You were, when I was a child, I just always witnessed you and my grandpa. You were always, after you retired, extremely active volunteers in the community. Would you talk about some of your experiences and things that you took from that?
Well, one of the things I did, I worked for our local literary society, and they provided tutors for adults who had trouble reading. And I started out as a tutor, and then I later went through an apprentice program and became a trainer for tutors. And as part of that, I worked in a penitentiary, teaching inmates to tutor other inmates.
That's really neat, and I appreciate you for doing that, because I think the prison population in this country, that they're in a lot of ways mistreated.
Oh yes.
And you providing a service to them that's going to improve their lives on the inside, and then hopefully eventually when some of them are released. I think that's very
most of my
nice.
Volunteer work was more direct rather than talking about people you'd never meet. But in the case of the prisons, it could go forward as they're tutoring other.
Absolutely, and just you helping an individual helps them be a better person in society. So anytime you're doing something like that, whether it's directly with an individual or something that's going to have an impact in other ways, we're still showing up for the community, and I think that's really
most
important.
of my volunteer work was more like I did newsletters for several organizations.
Mm-hmm. She's also so my grandmother here. We're at Foxdale Village. That's a Quaker retirement community in State College, and you are one of the original residents of this place.
I'm the only one left.
She's the last original resident from. You moved here in 1989. So she's been here 37 years, more than a third of her life in a retirement community. But this community is pretty amazing because it's just, I enjoy coming here every time. It's just it's a warm, pleasant place to be.
Well, and we have 3 levels of care. We have independent living, cottages and apartments. Right now I'm in assisted living, although I don't require a lot of assistance.
Yeah.
And skilled care then.
Right. And so you've been here a long time, and one of the things that you did when you, I guess probably within the first year or two that you moved here, you started a newsletter called the Foxdale Flyer, which is a community newsletter, basically sharing stories of what's happening in the community.
It was
a weekly, like a one sheet.
Yeah.
Typically, or did it ever go more than one sheet, or?
Well, both sides.
Well, both sides. Okay, so two sides of a piece of paper, but you edited that for
18 years.
18 years. She was the founder. I always refer to my grandmother as the publishing magnate, Bunny Moon, who published the Foxdale Flyer for 18 years for her community here, and that in itself is another way of showing up. So I thank you for all of that. I'd also like, while we're still here, if you don't mind, talking a little bit about your husband, Henry Moon, who I knew as Grandpa. He also modeled that mantra to me long before I had the words for it. And as I said in the video that I posted the other day, he was the person that taught me about nobody being a stranger. And
Yeah.
If you could talk a little bit about what it was like to be married to him, and whatever you'd like to say.
You know, in all the years, we were married 40 years, and one time, I think, in 40 years, did he raise his voice to me.
Wow. Do you remember what it was about?
Driving. No, me. He was driving and I was nagging him.
Oh.
It was deserved, but.
Yeah. That's funny. And one time in 40 years,
Yep.
that was my grandfather. He was the most calm, and I think I got some of my calmness from him. I don't let trivial things bother me too much, and I think I realizing now that I think I took that from him. But he was a man when I was a kid. He was, I guess he retired when I was about 5 years old, but for probably a good 20 some years after that, he was basically a full-time volunteer. And by full-time, I mean he was getting up at like a normal workday hour, and then he's going out into the community helping out with all kinds of organizations that he found.
He was on a number of different boards, but he'd do the nitty-gritty stuff that needed to be done.
Yes, yes, and that's something that I learned as a kid when I would come to visit. He would take me out, and we would just be cleaning people's garages and just doing whatever was needed in the community that he saw needed help. And that attitude is just so admirable, but also I think we need more of that in society. But something else that stands out to me in thinking about my grandfather is that he was very active in his college fraternity at Penn State. So we're here in State College, so the university's right next door, and he was active as a.
He was their advisor for over 50 years.
Yeah, he was the house advisor for his college fraternity for over 50 years, and at one point the fraternity put a plaque on the outside of the house that says the Henry T. Moon House. They named the house after him. He was Uncle Henry to the hundreds of kids that would have gone through that house.
That started because we had a nephew living with us one summer. His mother was ill, and Henry would take him to the fraternity with him. And of course, he called him Uncle Henry. And the boys there started doing it, and it just went on generation after generation.
But think about like how many hundreds of kids that he would have had some influence over throughout the years, and then those kids, right. they saw that example that he set for them, and I'm sure a lot of those kids ended up
right
setting that kind of example for other people. So yeah, it's all about showing up for your community in whatever way makes sense for you and what you think the community can benefit from.
Right.
I'm so inspired by that, and my grandmother here, who still is as you can see, as strong and vibrant as ever, and I hope to keep hearing some new poems from you. So I don't want to have this video go on for too long, but I do want to thank you for taking the time to sit down and chat with everybody out there. I think some people are going to enjoy this. Anything else you'd like to add before we?
So, thanks.
Okay. Well, everybody, you have a wonderful Sunday. Hopefully we get this posted today. So yeah, it'll be a Sunday, and looks nice and sunny outside. So thanks for tuning in, and if you could like and subscribe, that definitely helps things out. And have a wonderful day. Say bye, Grammy.
Bye.